Assalamu alaikum, family. This is Ryan X coming to you live on here. Hope that you all are having a blessed, wonderful day. Hope that you all are doing well. This is a day that Allah God has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, despite the weather. We're having cold and rainy weather here in the San Francisco Bay Area. We have been for the past week or so, having rain, a lot of rain. We're having our winter. We had some nice weather there for a little bit, but now it's we getting a dose of reality. I know many parts of the country it's may not be getting those frigid temperatures that you had a month ago, but it's still cold. Some places still have snow on the ground, ice, what have you. But I hope that you all are doing well and staying safe. Even though the snow and the ice is thawing out, that still calls for dangerous conditions because you have flooding and you have a lot of slush and stuff like that. And at nighttime, it freezes over and cause icy conditions. So I just hope that you all are doing well wherever you may be. Hope that you're having a blessed day. Hope that you have a blessed weekend. And the likelihood that you have one of those days or that you're having one of those days, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, LeBron James, during All Star weekend, said he's heard nothing but great things about Israel. There's a Israeli player, NBA player. I don't know what team he plays for, but uh, LeBron was told that he had fans in Israel. He said, "That's great. I hope to go to Israel someday." Yada yada yada. I heard nothing but great things about it. Heard nothing but great things about Israel. Interesting. Interesting. Um, I don't think LeBron is being honest because Kyrie Irving has spoke out about the conditions of the Palestinian people. Spike Lee did the same thing. So either you weren't paying attention to what they were saying, or you conveniently ignored it and you're ignoramus, or it could be all of the above. But it's not a good look and it's sad because it's like, bro, for the past 2 years, not even 2 years, going way, way, way beyond that, for decades, Israel has been senselessly murdering Palestinian men, women, and children, even babies, starving them, bombing them, raping them, killing journalists. I think Dave Chappelle said in his last stand up, that everybody was up in arms about the journalist that the Saudis killed, but Israel has killed like over what 250, 249, 250, and counting. But it's no mention of that. But we know that LeBron is a puppet, and that his puppet masters are telling him what to say. They may as well have a hand up his ass and move his mouth. I've heard nothing but great things about Israel. Israel's a great nation, and he looks around. He may as well be a puppet. They're pulling the strings, and it's just sad. I'm not a fan of LeBron James. Not a fan of him. Never been. Um, I think. Well, I'm gonna keep my personal opinions about him. I'm not a fan of him uh, as a NBA fan. Never been. Never have been. But and I will be critical of him, and it's not because as Black people we should be critical of each other when we're doing something that is wrong. when we're doing something that we should know better. And it's not about being against a black man. No, I'm against white supremacy because he's defending white supremacy. And it makes him look hypocritical because he spoke out during the pandemic uh, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, about all those killings, the George Floyd killing, the murder of George Floyd, um, all the police shootings, all the uprisings that were going on around the country. He was speaking out against that. Hands up, don't shoot, or please don't shoot, whatever they were saying. He was part of that protest. Him and Chris Paul, they all were part of that protest. You speaking out against injustice here in the United States, but you're over here saying you heard nothing but good things about a nation that is practicing unjust acts against a poor people. Bro, do your research. Or you probably know these things, and I believe LeBron does, because I don't think he's an idiot, but he's coming off as an ignoramus. And you just allowing these people to tell you what to say. Your paymasters, your puppet masters. You allow them to tell you what to say. Say this about Israel, boy. We know you know who butter your bread. You better say this about Israel. And from Steph Curry investing in some something about with Israel, investing with an Israeli company or something he's doing. So LeBron doing this. It's like, why are our athletes, our black athletes, defending Israel? Why are they defending Israel when they know that the Israeli government are nothing but terrorists? What they're doing is genocide. I would go as far as to say what they're doing is worse than Nazi Germany. But our athletes are sitting up here defending Israel, nothing but great things about Israel. Bro, what planet are you living on? What great things are you speaking about? The Israeli, the Israel, the Israeli government that's denying food to men, women, and children, babies, that's bombing schools, bombing hospitals, killing journalists, raping women. And they're not only doing this to Muslims, they're doing this to Christians. There was a priest, Christian priest over in Palestine that said that they are disrespecting the churches over there, the Israeli soldiers. So they're not just doing it to Muslims, they're doing it to Christians also. Bombing mosque. But nothing but great things about Israel. Sean King on a daily basis. I get emails from Sean King from his publication, the North Star, about the what's going on in Palestine, what Israel is doing. They're attacking Orthodox Jews as well. Thank you, Brother Steph. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Much love and respect. but nothing but great things about Israel. Bro, are you serious right now? You have got to be kidding me. These people are terrorists. The Israeli government, they're evil, they're wicked. I pray to Allah that his day of requital will come upon Israel, that his day of judgment will come upon the Israeli government. What they're doing is inhumane. And Steph Curry is supporting Israel, and LeBron James is too. Why are our black athletes not speaking out against Israel? Oh, again, the puppet masters. You're so against injustice. And Dr. King said, now keep this in mind, LeBron. Dr. King said, injustice, what's the quote? Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I may be paraphrasing it. But what's going on in Israel, what's going on with and on the Gaza Strip with the Palestinians is a threat to justice here in America, everywhere. But you speaking out against injustice about the police, unjustifiable police executions here in the United States, that's good and all. But you're being hypocritical when you sit up here supporting Israel, who are doing far worse than what our police are doing here. You're being hypocritical, bro. You criticize Kyrie for not getting the jab. Criticize that brother. So what really is your motivation, LeBron? And I know his fans and LeBron James fans get on my nerves because they act like this man can't do anything wrong. They can't. I mean, they can't differentiate between him as a basketball player and him in his personal life. Anything LeBron does is it's like God, and it just irks my nerves. You can't be critical about LeBron. They're like he's a god, that he's the supreme being. They act like he's the Almighty, but they let Aaron Rodgers slide without getting the jab. Though he got the complexion for the protection. That's why, brother Iron Will, and thank you for tuning in too. He got the complexion for the protection. That's why they let Aaron Rodgers slide with it. Happy birthday to Michael Jordan. That's right, Air Jordan. Today is his 63rd birthday. And yes, he will be greater than LeBron. I agree with that. I'm not a Michael Jordan fan either. As far as I'm concerned, the GOAT is it's the late, great Bill Russell, whose birthday was last week. He would have been 92. May Allah be pleased with him. The late, great Bill Russell. That's my GOAT. But that's neither here or there. I digress. But yeah, it's just crazy. And LeBron should know better. Great things about Israel. Could you imagine in 1944, 1945, Ted Williams or Joe DiMaggio doing a press conference and saying, hey, Joe DiMaggio, you have fans in Germany. Oh, you have fans in Germany. They love the way you play. They hear your games on the radio. Or something like that. And Joe DiMaggio saying, I've heard great things about Germany. Could you imagine an athlete in the 1940s saying they heard great things about Germany during World War II? Or they saying they heard great things about Japan during World War II or Italy during World War II, the axis of evil, the quote unquote axis of evil, Italy, Germany, and Japan. Could you imagine any athlete saying that? Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio. Could you imagine any of them saying that? Germany is a great place. I heard nothing great about it. I hope to visit soon. Or Italy is a great place. I hope to visit soon. Japan is a great place. I hope to visit soon. While we're in the middle of World War II, just imagine that. Could you imagine 22 years ago, Allen Iverson doing a press conference saying, I heard nothing but great things about Iraq or Afghanistan. In the middle, while we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan. Could you imagine the backlash AI would have got? I'm not talking about artificial intelligence. I'm talking about the original AI, Allen Iverson, the answer. Could you imagine the backlash he would have received? Oh, Allen Iverson, this thug. They already didn't like the way the man had his hair or the way he dressed. They thought he dressed like a thug because he wouldn't wear a suit. He wore baggy jeans and camouflage pants and chains and a throwback or a do-rag. They already thought he was a thug. But could you imagine if he would have said that he heard great things about Iraq and Afghanistan and that he hopes to visit someday when George W. Bush unjustly invaded both countries? Could you imagine the backlash he would have faced? He would have been kicked out of the NBA. Damn Skippy. Joe DiMaggio was Italian Americans. Yeah, they were. So was Japanese. Japanese Americans were too. Out here on the West Coast. Matter of fact, there's a Japanese internment camp not too far from where I live. I forgot where it's at. I think it's in Dublin. I think it was in Dublin, which is about 20 minutes away from where I live. But they would have. My point is, they would have faced backlash, especially back then, because everything. If you said something on the radio, it was all on the papers. They didn't. TV wasn't. Well, we know it was way before computers. But newspapers were great back then. Newspapers had a lot of power back in them days, back in the 1940s. And going back in 2003, 2004, social media was still in its infancy stages. So everything was on the internet. So it would have made internet. It would have been on the World Wide Web if Allen Iverson or Kevin Garnett or Paul Pierce or someone would have said something about they heard great things about Iraq or Afghanistan. Even Koreans, Chinese, Filipinos were put. Yeah, they were. What power does Israel have over? You know what, brother? The only way I can answer that is this. Jews run Hollywood. There's a book that I have of, it's called How the Jews Created Hollywood. Great book. How the Jews Created Hollywood. Google it. It's a big book, but it gives you a breaks down of how the Jews created Hollywood and how they made it what it is today. I have to. All right, word up. Bet. Yup, it's a great book, brother. So a lot of the NBA owners, that's funny, right? NBA is predominantly black still, but you have white owners. They're Jewish. A lot of the NBA owners, 90% of them, if not more, are Jewish. The commissioner of the NBA is Jewish. You see where I'm going with this? Hollywood, run by the Jews. The NBA, run by the Jews. The board of governors are Jewish. The owners are Jewish. They have an undying loyalty to Israel. They're Zionists. That's the best way I can answer your question. That's the power that Israel have over America and the celebrities. David Stern, yes. The late David Stern was Jewish. That's right. So that's the way I could best answer that question. It's the Zionists have their hands in everything, in every aspect of our lives, in entertainment, in sports, in media. Oh, definitely in media, in government, in finance, in real estate. Every aspect of our life, the Zionists have some sort of control. This isn't about hating the Jews. This is the honest, God knows facts. So the Zionists have their control. The Jews, who are Zionists, are the puppet masters for LeBron, for Steph Curry, and they tell them what to say. They may as well have had their hands up their asses and making their mouths move and their head move. I'm Facts, bro. It's sad. It's sad. Gone are the days of Bill Russell, Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, uh, John Carlos, Tommy Smith, even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They don't make those athletes anymore. Long gone, the days of Craig Hodges, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, formerly Chris Jackson, Colin Kaepernick. They don't make those athletes no more, brother. They're gone. We have puppets now. Even though we love Steph Curry, he's a puppet. Even though many people love LeBron James, they worship him, which is disgusting. He's a puppet. Hold on 1 second. I gonna need to charge my device. Hold on, give me 1 second. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button now. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. Give me 1 second. Okay, good. Y'all still, oh, it's not bad as I thought it was gonna be. Okay, I still can be seen on here. Can y'all see me okay? All right, had to switch spots, this devices. Okay. But yeah, but one thing, thank you, bro. But one thing the Jews do better than the FBA salad is they stick together, look out for each other, and invest in each other. Their money will circulate in their community 50 times before it exits. That's facts. That's facts. I like Steph Curry as well. I do too. But yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad, brothers. Haha, my brother King Lee. Peace, God. How you doing, brother? Salute to you. Thank you for tuning in, soldier. Good to see you. Assalamu alaikum, my brother King Lee. But yeah, it's just sad, man. It's just, and I spoke in my last video about the influence of the Jewish community. They wanted to kill. They wanted to kill Reverend Jesse Jackson. They bombed his headquarters, and then they called for the death of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But again, we're the haters, we're the race baiters. Have we called for the deaths of any Jewish leaders? Have we bombed their synagogues? Have we threatened their families with death? No, no, we haven't. Were we responsible for the Holocaust? I'm getting tongue tied. Were we responsible for the Holocaust? No. My great uncles fought in World War II to to free Europe from the Nazis. I know many well, they passed on now, and may Allah be pleased with them. The deacons in my church fought, some fought in the Pacific theater, some fought in the European theater, but they fought for American democracy around the world when they could not get it here at home. Oh, by the way, and I'm sure you brothers knew this, and many of y'all knew this, the Jews were slave owners. They purchased the slave ships. They were plantation. They were on the plantation. They oversaw our enslavement. This is facts. This is facts. The Jewish bankers in New York were financing the plantations down south. This is a fact. They financed slave ships. Jewish bankers in New York. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Such a meek and peaceful people. Facts. That man just died, and they want to throw when he said Town and how he fit father a kid out of wedlock. I'm like, yeah, that's what they do. Both my grandfathers fought in World War II. A lot of foundational Black Americans fought to defend. Yes, we have. I said in my last video, we're the most patriotic people in this nation's history. Where's all the World War One, World War II movies about our armed forces, FBA brothers and sisters? There's a lot. There facts. Of course they did. Yes, sir. My grandfather fought in World War II and the Korean War. I thank your grandfathers for their service in World War II and the Korean War. May Allah be pleased with them. My great uncle was in the Navy in World War II. I think he fought in he was in the European theater, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I know I had a great uncle on my mom's great uncle on her side of the family. He died in 63. He died the year John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy was assassinated. So may Allah be pleased with him. I never got a chance to know him, of course, but he fought in Korea as well. Um, and I know a lot of I had a neighbor across the street from me in Detroit. He was a World War II veteran. And I had another neighbor when I moved on the other side of Detroit. Get this, check this out. I had a neighbor around the corner from me when I used to walk home from school, going home. He would sit on his porch, and he had on a bomber jacket, and he had these medals on it and all these patches. Turned out he was a Tuskegee Airman. I had a Tuskegee Airman, a neighbor who was a Tuskegee Airman that lived right around the corner from me, literally in Detroit when I was in high school. How cool is that? So I thank all these great men for their service. Yeah, brother, it was dope, man. He had so many. Oh, I used to sit on his porch. He used to invite me to sit on the porch, and he had so many stories. Oh my God. If I had my head on straight, I wish I would have recorded what he was telling me because it was like I was interviewing him. I was like 16, 17 years old. It was so cool, man. Oh my God. May Allah be pleased with him. But I say all this to say this. We fought for the liberation of the Jews from the Nazis. Did the Jews fight to liberate us? during slavery? I'm just This is a fair question. Did they? Did they fight to liberate us from slavery? Of course, you had two civil rights workers. I can't think of their name. Andrew and Mike Mickey. I know that the first one was name was Andrew. One the other name was Mickey. I can't remember their last names. Yes, they were Schwimmer and Goodman. Thank you, brother Steph. Schwimmer and Goodman. Yes, during the civil rights era, they were killed with James Chaney, our brother down there in Mississippi. Andrew Goodman and Mickey Schwimmer. They were from New York City. They went down to Mississippi to register blacks to vote, and they were killed along with James Chaney. They were killed by Klansmen, and their bodies were buried in an unearthed dam in Philadelphia, Mississippi, 1964. So, okay, that was good. That what they did. That was commendable. But where were the other Andrew Goodmans and Mickey Schwimmers back during the Civil War? Oh, Schwimmers from Philly. Okay. Where were the Goodmans and Schwimmers back during the Civil War? Did they speak out against their Jewish brothers who were enslaving us, who were raping our women, feeding our babies to alligators? They did this, ripping out the fetuses from black women and stomping on the babies, on the fetuses, killing them, sodomizing black men, called buck breaking. I'm just asking the question. There's a book. There's three books. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. There are 3 volumes, volume 1, 2, and 3. If you don't have them, I suggest you get them. I held them up on this platform, and YouTube banned me for 2 weeks. No lie. I did this a few years back. I held up those books because my mom saw the video and she said she loved it, and they took the video down within the next day. The video didn't stay up for more than 12 hours. They took it down. You hear me? But I have the books in my possession. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, volumes 1, 2, and 3. And the things in those books were written by Jewish scholars. The things that were written in that book that the Nation of Islam's research team got, they got it from Jewish scholars. You hear me? They got it from Jewish scholars. So how can we be haters? Your own people must be haters then. They telling the truth about their own people. And we put it in, and the nation put it in books, but we're the haters. We're anti-Semitic. Make it make sense. There was John Brown. He was a real one. Yes, he was. Where were they after civil rights? Great question. What about the white women? What about the white woman that got killed during the civil rights movement that nobody talks about? The one with the Italian last name. Oh, from Detroit. Louiso? Was that her last name? No, she's from Detroit. The 13th Tribe is a good book talking about the real origins of the European Jews. Oh my gosh. That's another video for another day, brother. That is deep. So, but I'm gonna touch on it on a little inkling. Just a tad bit of history on that. Did y'all know that the Jews were kicked out of every country in Europe during the Middle Ages? England, France, Spain, Germany, Portugal, Italy. They were expelled from every nation in Europe during the Middle Ages. They were like nomads. They did not have their own home. Every nation in Europe kicked the Jews out of their country. Why? Because they were practicing usury. Usury is greed. Usury is charging someone. They still do it now. You borrow money and you don't pay it back in time, or you say, "Hey, give me to next week. I'm something. My check not right. I don't have it this week, but I'm gonna give it back to you. I am gonna give it back to you, but just give me another week, another 2 weeks. I'll have the money." They will tack on interest to what you already owe. So let's say you borrow $200 and you don't pay it back on the due date that's agreed upon. They will tack. I'm just throwing a number out there. 10% of on top of the $200. So now I just got the $200. I don't have this 10% of the other this additional 10%. Oh no, well okay, that's another 10%, and it keeps going on and on and on. Yup, Long Shakes did it in England 1291. He sure did. They also was practicing pedophilia. They were. They were doing unscrupulous things in these European nations during this time. That's why the European hierarchy, the hierarchy in these European countries had to kick them out. So you got to get out of here. So they were bouncing around, bouncing around. They were nomads until 1947, 1948. Oh, Israel is a separate state now, and the Jews have called Israel their home. The Palestinians welcomed them there because that was originally called Palestine. They welcomed them there, and ever since then, in 1948, there has been conflict with the Jewish settlers and the Palestinians for 78 years now and counting. And every U.S. president since Harry S. Truman, who was president in 1948, they have given billions of dollars to Israel for almost 80 years now, 78 years. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? From Truman to Trump, this is facts. Oh, and did you know that the Kennedys, Joe Kennedy, the father of John F. Kennedy, um, the father of John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s grandfather, Joe Kennedy, Joseph Kennedy, was a Nazi sympathizer. Yes, Joseph Kennedy was a Nazi sympathizer. He was ambassador of Great Britain in the 1930s. He was fired from that job. But oh, did you know that Time magazine, which is still around, named Adolf Hitler their man of the year in 1939? I'm just saying, these are all facts. Cannibalism, it was a long urban legend saying that the Jews would use the blood of Christian soldiers to make their matzo ball. Oh my God. Oof. That's disturbing. I wouldn't doubt it though. That's disturbing. That is just sick. Um, but yeah, so we before it would someone needs to a publicist or someone in LeBron's corner needs to say, "Come here, let me holler at you." Put their arm around him and say, "Come here," and whisper in his ear and tell him that, "Hey, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing over here? No, you can't do this. It's a bad look. You can't sit up here and talk about injustice here in America and then sit up there and talk about Israel's a great place or praise Israel. It's insane. It's hypocritical." But like I said a few minutes ago, the days of Bill Russell, Jim Brown, Tommy Smith, John Carlos, Muhammad Ali, and even a younger Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, used to be Christopher Jackson, or Chris Jackson, excuse me, Chris Jackson, and Colin Kaepernick. Those, nope, them athletes are far and few between. I don't think you won't say that. I hate to say ever again, because a lot of these athletes are too far gone. It's all about their brand, promoting their brand, promoting their brand. It's all about this. They will say or do anything for that money. If it means dressing, if it means putting on the dress, painting their fingernails, toenails, Caleb Williams, whatever the case may be, they will do it. We don't have the strong athletes that will stand up for truth and justice and equality, for freedom, justice, and equality. We don't have those athletes anymore. Oh, Craig Hodges. How could I forget his name? Craig Hodges. That brother who was blackballed from the NBA a couple of years before a few years before Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. At first was Craig Hodges, then it was Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. But we don't have athletes like that anymore, and I don't think we ever will. Or if we do, it'd never be on the level that where they were on, because Craig Hodges won an NBA championship with the Bulls. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf was one of the best players in the NBA. Colin Kaepernick played in the Super Bowl, was a few plays away from winning it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the best college player in the nation in 1967-68. He refused to go to the Olympics. Muhammad Ali was the greatest boxer of that era, of that time. Bill Russell was a Hall of Famer in 1967-68. He already was a Hall of Famer, and so was Jim Brown. John Carlos and Tommy Smith were gold medalists. They won in Mexico City in '68. So these athletes wasn't some just scrubs, some nobodies that no one heard of. They were at the top of their game. So at the top of their craft. They were well known. So the days of a well-known athlete speaking out, that's done. LeBron James, that was fraudulent. Chris Paul, fraudulent. Yes, Craig Hodges was the truth. Won the three-point contest. I know Larry Bird won it 3 straight years. How many years did Craig Hodges win it? See, Craig Hodges, no, he won it. Did he win it 3 straight years? But anyway, that brother was the truth. And he was blackballed. Blackballed from the NBA. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf was the truth. Chris Jackson played at LSU. That dude, he was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. And he had a disability. He had Tourette syndrome. But he did not let that stop him. That brother could ball and could drop buckets. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. So Those days are gone. And LeBron James is making himself look bad because it's like, bro, back in 2000, you was speaking out about this and that, about the unjust police executions of brothers and sisters around the country. Hands up, don't shoot, or stop, don't shoot, whatever the hell those t-shirts are saying. Then a year later, you going at Kyrie for not wanting to get the jab. Now you sitting up here talking about how Israel's great. Man, and I think LeBron knows this, but his pay again. I guess to whom much is given, much is required, so to speak. And since the Jews are giving it to him, they require a lot of him. So it's sad because he's a puppet. But in any event, I'm gonna hop off of here. I hope that I was able to get my point across on this video. If so, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. Share this video. Let's have the conversation. Let's have the conversation. It's a must. So share these on your social media accounts. Drop the comments below. Let me know what you think. I know there are going to be people who disagree with me with what I said. I'm cool with that. That's fine and dandy. We're just going to have to learn to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And in our disagreements, we're going to have to learn to use logic, common sense, facts, and respect. Not emotion and disrespect. Got to get you nowhere. So just keep that in mind. Continue to support my YouTube channel here, my future projects coming down the pike. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you for rocking with your brother. Thank you for your patience. I love y'all immensely, and I appreciate y'all love and support. And please keep it up because I need it. And I thank y'all. Thank y'all for y'all support. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. So if you're going to work, coming home from work, dropping your children off at school, picking them up, running errands, traveling, which I will be doing in 13 hours from now, my time, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm leaving to go to Detroit for Savior's Day. Many of us in the nation are. Have a safe trip, y'all. Have a safe journey. May Allah give us traveling grace and just be safe and beware and be aware. General order number 2. For those of us in the nation, y'all know what that means. So just beware out here, y'all. Be safe, beware, and be aware. I can't stress that enough. So I'm gonna hop off of here. I gotta run some errands. I gotta start packing. um, but in any event, y'all have a blessed day. I love y'all. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. And I will talk to y'all sooner than later. Next time I talk to y'all, I will be in Detroit, my hometown, the D, the Motor City, my birthplace. I will be there. So next time I talk to y'all. So I'm gonna try to make time to talk to y'all while I'm there. I'm gonna be busy with Savior's Day, and your brother will be 50 years young in 3 days. This Friday, inshallah, I will be 50 years old. Alhamdulillah, 50 years young. Wow, 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 wow. This Friday, February 20th. Last year for my birthday, I was in Chicago for Savior's Day. This year for my birthday, I will be in my hometown of Detroit. So Allah is the greatest of planners. So um, I love y'all. Next time I talk to y'all, we'll be in Detroit, inshallah. Have a blessed day. And I love y'all. And I'll talk to you soon. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.